the quiet town of Port Jervis, New York, there stands an oak tree so twisted, so unnaturally shaped, that generations have refused to walk beneath its branches after dark. Locals call it the Devil's Tree. Its bark is black as char, though no fire has ever touched it. Its limbs bend downward instead of reaching for the sky, as if something inside the trunk is dragging them back toward the earth. For over a century, this tree has been blamed for madness, death, and disappearances, and no one has ever been able to explain why. The story begins in the late 1800s, when the land around the tree belonged to a farmer who, according to old county records, grew increasingly paranoid and violent in his final years. Neighbors said he talked to himself in the fields, that he screamed at shadows only he could see. One winter morning, he was found hanging from the tree's lowest branch, his eyes wide open, his face frozen in an expression witnesses described as pure terror. The rope, they said, had not been tied by human hands in any pattern anyone recognized. After his death, the farm changed hands 7 times in 20 years. Every single owner reported the same thing. Livestock found dead near the tree with no wounds, no blood, no explanation. Crops that grew everywhere else on the property would wither and blacken the moment their roots crept near the oak's shadow. Eventually, no one would buy the land at all, and the tree stood alone, surrounded by nothing but dead grass for decades. In the 1960s, a group of teenagers decided to test the legend. They drove out past midnight, parked their car near the old fence line, and dared each other to touch the trunk. Only one of them did it. Witnesses in the car said the moment his palm touched the bark, the temperature inside the vehicle dropped so fast, their breath turned to fog, even though it was summer. The boy stumbled back to the car, unable to speak. He didn't say a single word for 3 days. When he finally did speak again, all he could say was that something underneath the tree had been waiting, and that it knew his name. Paranormal investigators who visited the site in later years documented electromagnetic field spikes so severe their equipment failed completely within feet of the trunk. Batteries drained in seconds, cameras shut off on their own. One investigator described a feeling of being watched from inside the tree itself, as though the trunk were hollow and something was pressed against the bark from within, staring out through cracks too narrow to see. Then there is the matter of the chains. At some point, someone wrapped heavy iron chains around the base of the tree, bolting them into the trunk. No official record explains who did this or why. Some say a previous landowner tried to bind whatever lived inside it. Others believe the chains were meant to keep something from getting out, not to keep people from getting in. Over the decades, several attempts were made to cut the tree down entirely. Every chainsaw that touched the bark stalled or broke. One worker, according to local reports, suffered a deep gash to his leg from a saw that kicked back without warning. On a day with no wind, no obstruction, nothing that should have caused the blade to jump. To this day, people report the same sensations near the tree. A drop in temperature that has no natural cause. A pressure behind the eyes, like something pushing against the inside of your skull. A whisper carried on air that shouldn't be moving at all. Dogs refuse to approach it. Birds will not land in its branches, even when every other tree nearby is full of them. Photographs taken near the trunk often show dark shapes in the background that were not visible to the naked eye when the picture was snapped. No one has ever proven what lies beneath the roots of the Devil's Tree. Some believe it marks a burial ground disturbed long before written records began. Others believe the tree itself is not a tree at all, but something ancient wearing the shape of one, feeding slowly on whatever wanders too close. What remains certain is this: the land refuses to hold life near it, the chains have never been removed, and every person who has dared to stay beneath its branches after sunset has walked away changed, if they walked away at all. The Devil's Tree still stands today, exactly where it has always stood, waiting for the next person curious enough to test how much of the legend is true.